Hello and welcome to Series 2 of M&G Investments podcast Dream Machine.
Alex,
Award-winning podcast Dream Machine. My name's Alex Matcham and I'm here with my colleague Laura Brown.
Hello.
Each episode we speak to one of our investment professionals to try to get to know the people behind the portfolios.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be asking our investment experts to choose from their dream virtual vending machine, their favourite crisps, chocolate bar and drink.
The only bubbles here are the bubbles you get in a can of fizzy pop.
And we should also say, very important, that this is not a promotion for any of the items that we're going to be talking about today. There is a whole world of snacks out there.
Indeed, as always, none of Dream Machine content should be taken as financial advice, nor should it be taken as nutritional advice. If you are unsure, you should speak to a financial advisor or a nutritionist.
So with the disclaimers well and truly done, let's begin. Today we're joined by Stuart Rhodes, fund manager on our global equity portfolios here at M&G Investments. Stuart's been here since 2004.
That's right, yeah, 2004.
And is focused on dividend investing. Stuart, welcome to Dream Machine.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
So Stuart, you have the benefit in being in the second series, so sort of going second, so you've had time to prepare. Have you done your due diligence?
I have watched a couple of the episodes just to understand what on earth this is all about.
It is a slightly random concept.
It is, yeah. So when I got asked the questions, it was like, oh, this is a bit different. So no, I have watched a couple, so I am excited to be here and consume what you've got under that table over there.
Excellent.
Oh, don't ruin the secret. Brilliant. And then obviously you've been M&G, over sort of quite a long time now, 2004. How did you kind of get into investing in the first place, of the path to M&G? What was the sort of...
Yeah. So it's my first proper job, as my parents would describe it. So I did have a little bit of time as a failed tennis player before starting this career. And I guess it was really my dad who kind of figured out that the kind of competitive nature of what I was doing as a tennis player and stuff might read across to this. And it was his kind of suggestion I should start this because I just played tennis and I was off on training camps and all that kind of stuff. And so I'd never actually had a job. And so when I was 20 and I did this 6-month internship, I was petrified actually, because it was like, you just spend the whole day looking and waiting for it to get to 5 o'clock and you're inventing new ways of passing time. And it was pretty grim. And I thought, oh God, is this what the rest of life is going to be like? And so I think Dad gave quite a bit of thought to, hang on a minute, how do we replicate that and give you a suggestion on what might replace that kind of hunger and drive. And he suggested I do the second one at, it was another company, but it was another, investment equities business. And that was like, I can get my head around this. And that's kind of the entry point, and applied for M&G, joined the grad program. And I'm still here.
3 grads around this table.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't that long after that, in the grand scheme of things, that you were running your fund, sort of 2008.
Yeah.
And you had quite a lot of early success through there. Can you just reflect a little bit on that and how that maybe then shaped sort of the rest of the career, dealing with that and how that then, the challenges that brought with it?
Yeah. Well, I was very lucky really, because when I joined M&G, I was joining the research team and I was just going to join and do a kind of standard introduction, do your exams, spend 6 months looking at this sector, do the odds, stock review and present to lots of people, all that kind of jazz. And then it was actually Aled Smith, who was my boss at the time. He gave up the research role and spent all of his time working on 2 funds and just asked me to come and basically be his sidekick. I said, I'm going to need some help. Do you want to come and help me? And it was, I wouldn't say it's controversial, that would be kind of delusions of grandeur, but it was sort of people saying, well, that's an unusual path, you should think twice before you do that. So I was very early on in doing like marketing, meeting clients, doing trading, all of this kind of stuff just happened so quickly, just because of that kind of natural timing. So I think I was deputy on his funds at like 25 or 26. And so that was kind of a very quick 3-4 years, which, in hindsight was kind of just luck and chance, all predicated on just making the decision that I will learn more doing that rather than necessarily me thinking, oh, that's a way to get ahead, and it just so happened.
Did you know you wanted to be a fund manager?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
And is that competitive?
That's probably why I jumped at that chance as well, because I didn't really fancy the 10-15 year kind of slog to then to potentially kind of make it after that. So I think that's kind of how I reflect on it. And then really, I mean, the fund came about from me going to the US and just finding company after company after company that had these amazing dividend track records, and then coming back and going, well, we've got all these UK dividend funds, but we don't have a US one. And then it was actually Aled who said to me, well, actually, before you go US, why don't we think about actually just a mainstream international kind of global one? And then I just started researching it, and the more I did it, the more I got excited about the opportunity. And then M&G got quite excited about the opportunity because there weren't many of these funds around back then. And actually, there was a bit of moment where I got a bit worried because they were so keen on it. It became, why on earth don't we have this fund already? And is this young spotty kid the right guy to go with? Why don't we go with someone who's a bit more established?
Should we start formal proceedings?
Let's start with your choice of drink, Stuart.
Yeah.
Which is, I'll let you announce it.
It's a cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke.
That's good. We've not had this before.
Well, and to be honest, I haven't had one for probably 20 years, or maybe even more.
Oh wow! Okay.
So this is quite an exciting moment.
So something
for me.
quite big could happen.
Because I used to consume this quite a lot as a kid.
Right.
It wasn't, it's probably why I didn't make it as a tennis player. If I think back, it's probably not too professional. But I remember going to the States for the first time, and that's kind of where I kind of got exposed to this as a teenager and just loved it.
It's definitely still there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That is good.
I hope we've not created some kind of doom spiral.
We started you on some sort of downward spiral.
We can pick the exact moment when you started drinking.
But relapse.
Yeah.
Cherry Coke sales spiral upwards.
Yeah, because I don't really remember this being around in the UK when I was younger, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just wasn't that accessible.
And of course, as a company that you've followed.
Yeah, it's one of the great dividend companies. so it always feels quite good that you're in a way paying yourself. Yeah. It is one of the dividend companies, and actually kind of one of the ones that I referenced earlier when I came back with to Aled. It's like this company's increased its dividend for I don't know what it is now. It's like 60 years in a row. So if you think about 6 decades, we've seen a lot in 6 decades, and yet the business is strong enough every single year to pay you a higher payment. And there's quite a few of them that do that. So that was literally kind of what sparked the fund, is that we can create a fund of this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Cherry
Nice,
Coke.
full circle.
That's a great choice.
I like it.
Yeah, great choice.
Really good.
I'm just going to carry on consuming.
No, I'm
as we
good
go.
as well.
We've talked over the years, and I've heard you use the expression about being in the arena, which I think is quite gladiatorial kind of language. But sometimes that must be how it feels in terms of you've been investing for 17 years in the fund. In that sort of environment, how do you stay focused, stay calm, and not get too overawed by that arena?
Yeah. I can't remember when I started referring to it as the arena, kind of internally. It's probably something this is probably the first time I've ever talked about externally, but it can feel a bit like that, but not really in the kind of gladiatorial sense. Okay. So actually, in a way, something I really needed to do when I was younger was to stop focusing on other people, other competitors, other companies, other people, because that can become quite all-consuming and actually be negative in a way, because you spend your time worried about what X and Y is doing at certain places and not focused on the most important thing, which is you against this kind of faceless benchmark. And if you look after that and take care of that over time, you'll be absolutely fine. And I've seen so many people over the years consume themselves with what someone else is doing at another competitor or what have you, and it completely distract them and move them off what's important. And I think it is quite dangerous, and I know what kind of personality I am, so I kind of made a commitment quite early on actually to just not worry about the competition at all and just focus on us against the benchmark. It just doesn't get personal, it's faceless. It is very different. It is very different from when you're essentially on your own and you've got one client and maybe you see them every 3 months or 6 months or what have you, versus when you are, on the back foot, maybe on a daily basis. Not everyone is, when everyone kind of thinks they're going to be all right, but actually not that many people go through that well and then can do it many times over. Because if you want to do this for like 30 years or what have you, then the chances are you're going to dip into that hole a few times. And so it's just about, that's kind of the concept of the arena, is kind of is one, recognizing you've done well enough to get into it, but then also take on the downsides of when you're in it.
It's a big decision and takes a certain type of person to kind of go into fund management as a decision where people can kind of see how you're doing on a daily basis and
instantaneous feedback, right?
Yeah,
You've got
absolutely.
Instantaneous feedback.
That's it. And actually, ironically, this is what I go back to with my father, right at the beginning, was saying that's the bit you're going to like. That you're actually, you're going to love the fact that there's a feedback loop that's a number. It's not someone's opinion.
Yeah.
You either are doing well or not. And that will, I think you'll find, is quite a high source of motivation. So kind of in a way that's necessary to attract kind of, I guess, personalities like myself and others.
And that's where your continual competitiveness is channeled, right? I assume, because if you're not worried about outcompeting peers, it's about your goals.
Yeah.
And you, not about anyone else's.
So it's all just focused on what's in your control. If you just focus on it, eventually, everything else will take care of itself. And that feels like enough to handle, and then leave something left for your personal life and family and everything.
I
feel like I need another bit of cherry
drink,
coke,
and I think
the
first bit of food. Your choice of, I say crisps, but it's potentially controversial.
Oh,
poppadoms. Anyway,
I'll let you.
I think, are we going to let poppadoms into the dream machine?
Well, I think we kind of have to.
I mean, it's Walker's, isn't it? Like it's.
I think size
Walker's sensation.
This is the largest bag of crisps we've had. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Well, just for clarity, I think we need to confirm it's the Walker's Sensation poppadoms, mango and chutney flavour.
Thank you. Yes, very good.
I'm not sure I've got a great story behind this, other than they're just world-class crisps.
Well, I like the expression world-class crisps.
I'm going to pause and just watch your consumption of this and see.
It's a good moment.
No, it's very good.
It is good. They are good.
Right, very good.
No, I think
I'll be taking this down to the desk later.
Yeah.
You'll be taking 3 bags.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
There's going to be some happy people on the 7th floor.
They're good. There's another flavour, lime and coriander.
I think I've had that flavour,
which is also good, but I wouldn't put it in the kind of world class bracket. Levels. I mean, we still get this delivered at home as our kind of crisp of choice, and this is probably now a good 5 years in. I don't have some wonderful kind of emotional story.
No. Liking them is definitely enough.
I think the passion you've shown for them, to me, means that we just have to let poppadoms into the dream machine.
Oh yeah, I think the size and, as you say, Walkers, I think all of those do come in only a massive bag, which I think is do they ever come in small bags?
I've never seen them, so
that's a
maybe
shame.
not.
It's probably a missed opportunity.
Maybe, but I feel like this is very much in the spirit.
Absolutely.
Like most people would look at that and go, I don't feel aggrieved that you've tried to force that into.
I quite like to see a bag this size in a vending machine.
Yeah. Well, vending machines is a flexible concept.
It is.
It's a dream machine. Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely.
Good to hear the conviction in the poppadom. Good.
And you talk about, like, obviously crisps or these in particular are key things. Do you snack a lot? Are you quite your discipline you talked about in terms of investment? Thinking about that, is that something you apply to your?
I know I still do a lot of exercise for 2 reasons. One, we'll probably talk about because I guess it's useful for investment and it's part of kind of how I think. The other is just so I can eat this stuff. But I'm not horrendous. Like, it's relatively controlled. So we're talking little bits on a daily basis is probably kind of how I operate.
And you talked there about a lot of exercise, running, and that being part of your I guess, investment process in some way. Just talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's normally when you ask me to do things
exactly.
for marketing and sales, actually.
And I'll just point out
catch me in the
I'm
change
going out
room
for
downstairs.
a jog, but an amble, and you're going out for a proper run.
Hanging out there,
well, most of the time that's when I'm glad I bumped into you.
Can we get
you
some
to
marketing
do,
hours,
it's time for you to do some marketing hours. Yes, but the concept of having some sort of exercise regime to think and clear the head is actually really important to me. And I've found often probably the time when I've got most clarity of thought to make decisions, and often if I'm struggling to make a decision or something's just whirring around in my head, that is actually quite a useful way of dealing with it. So our old chief executive from 10 years ago always used to say he'd be worried if he walked past my desk and there wasn't like a gym bag there or something, or if I did my ACL, like what am I going to do? Kind of thing. So I do sort of have to think about that from time to time on making sure that I've got this outlet, because it has proven to be really quite important for me to kind of stay level, I guess.
Can I ask a question about dividends, Stuart?
Of course you can.
So, I mean, we've talked again in the past about dividends being much more than an investment philosophy; they're a way of life.
Yes.
And I guess you've committed to dividends for many years as part of the investment process, a big part of the investment process. And there's been temptation in that time from other companies. You mentioned those big growth companies that maybe weren't paying dividends. How do you stay the course and stay committed to your one true love?
Yeah. So it hasn't been phrased to me like that before.
Yes.
I've had it in many different ways. Quite often it's like, why don't you get bored of this? Why don't you try something new, kind of thing? But I don't know. The way I would explain it is this is just me and what I believe in, and the attraction behind running this fund specifically is just the pitch is you can do in like 10 seconds, which is, why do you do what you do? Answer to give you a rising income stream for life, and that you just kind of stop there and you go, well, that's going to satisfy quite a few people just in its own right. And all of investing's not always about capital returns over shorter time frames. It's about building something kind of that really lasts. And I always felt that because I was lucky enough to get the opportunity so young, that means you've got long enough to have one of these kind of unusual opportunities to really produce, like, I don't know, a body of work, and just say, right, we started there and we ended there. So, I used to joke with some of the early clients saying, my aim is to pay you an annual dividend the size of the initial investment, and thinking, I was 27 when I launched it. Have I got long enough to be able to do that? And it, maybe not, but it's kind of this weird kind of dream to go after. And that's what keeps you on the straight and narrow when, as you referenced, there are other temptations, and it just keeps you coming back. It's part of one of the ways you can deal with difficult markets is, finding a way of just showing up the next day, and that day might be the start of the turn. And if it's not, then the next day might be, and you've just got to find a way of keep showing up and doing what you do and what you believe in.
You talked about your sort of North Star, and that's exactly it.
That's it. Yeah, it's finding a way of just, making sure you're on your investment path, because if you don't have one, you can get lost very quickly. So,
do you think that you had that time and space to compound those returns and provide those? Do you think people are given less and less time to be able to, not just in the industry generally, to sort of show their investment thesis through to something meaningful?
Yeah, but I think that kind of just reflects society really on attention spans, and just everything's just a bit shorter, I think. So I'm not sure it's kind of unique to the investment world that things are just pressurized, and the desire for outcomes is just a little bit shorter. I mean, maybe that's unfair, but it's kind of what it feels like a little bit. So yeah, I definitely think that exists, and therefore the ability to really take unpopular decisions or go against the grain gets harder and harder, and almost actually kind of uniquely that it's only the people who've got the really long-term track records who are trusted by enough people to actually do that.
I think we've got one final, your favourite Chocolate bar or sweets?
Well, yeah, this comes on to the discipline question of diet that you kind of you asked earlier.
This is good.
The Cadbury Dairy Milk Mega buttons. The
Come
Mega
on.
buttons,
Come on.
yeah.
This
And
is
they
good.
come, there's a white chocolate flavour as well, which is equally as good. And I would find it difficult to choose between the two. But they are excellent.
And are these on the Rhodes regular shop? Or
The Mega
the
buttons
size of
aren't.
that.
the mega buttons?
The
are?
Mega buttons aren't.
is
So the
mega.
normal one is, it's only if I, for some reason, go to a supermarket that just has them in stock. So we don't always get these. So but it is quite exciting
That's
when
a
they
decent
arrive.
size.
It is.
They
That's
take
bigger-
a long time to eat.
That's meaningfully
before.
bigger than a 50p.
But notice how thin it is,
So there are,
which is important.
yes. Can you? Because there are some quite specific parameters here.
Yeah.
That lead you to this, and maybe some other conditions.
And why
that you-
mega and not
Yeah.
normal?
Well, so my theory, and I can't remember when I started doing this, but I'm a big fan of chocolate in the fridge. Probably slightly in a weird way, like like this isn't in the fridge because it's difficult, and so there I am.
We've not quite.
I'm not quite as excited as
No.
this as I am about the poppadom. for example. but they are kept in the fridge. But because they're so thin, they're easy to crack, and actually you don't have that problem. In, like if you kept a Yorkie in the fridge,
Oh yeah, that would break your teeth.
then you'd
Yes.
break your teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, the flip side, you'd have a seriously good jawline if you did it for a while. but these are kind of big, but they're thin, and
They melt more
therefore,
easily. Yeah.
and then you can actually consume it despite they're in the fridge, and you've got that cold kind of snappy
Yeah.
element
I like
to
it.
So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's a great
Please,
chocolate.
please have
I'm-
one.
well.
I think we've reached the end. I think that all that remains is for me to play back your dream machine, Stuart Rhodes. So we have Cherry Coke, takes you back 20 years or so, visiting the States, the first kind of novelty Coke flavour
Yeah,
from a company that is a Dividend champion, so
Yeah.
close to your heart. We have the Sensations mango and red chili chutney poppadoms, an impassioned submission, and a world-class crisp.
yeah.
And then we finish
Owned by Pepsi,
owned by
which is also a Dividend champion.
this is
Nice.
amazing. Here
Yeah,
we go. This is
yeah.
brilliant. And then the Cadbury's Dairy Milk Mega Buttons, cold, fresh from the fridge, so that they don't melt and they've got that snap, thin enough.
and also from another company.
And also
that
from
has an
another
excellent
company
track record.
with a
So again, Series 2, a little bit of time to prepare.
You've smashed it. Excellent.
Brilliant.
Thank you very
Loved
much.
it.
Enjoyed it. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Steve.